please remain standing for the national anthem, sung by Wyatt Logan.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight? Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave? Oh, the land of the free and the home of the brave.
You may be seated. Good evening. It's so nice to welcome you all, so many of you. We had to get out extra chairs, that's terrific, to the commencement ceremonies for 2023. I'm Dr. Diane Lynch, and I am the president of Stevens College. And on behalf of the faculty, the staff, and the administration, it is my great pleasure to welcome you here this evening. I'd like to start by thanking those most responsible for this event. We'll get to the students in a minute. Our accomplished and dedicated faculty, and our remarkable and committed staff, including the entire commencement committee, and especially Lita Pistono, the executive assistant in the president's office, and Alicia McGee, the administrative assistant in the Office of Academic Affairs. I would also like to thank James Terry, associate professor in the School of Integrative Studies, director of our honors program, director of our study abroad program, and the elected chair of our faculty, who is today serving as our head marshal. I'm going to ask you to pause with me for just a moment to acknowledge and thank Jim for his 25 years of extraordinary impact and servant leadership at Stevens College. A professor of art history, Jim has educated thousands of students to recognize, appreciate, and be awed by the world's greatest creative works, changing their lives in the process. And as I've already described, Jim has been a colleague, friend, and role model to generations of faculty and administrators. I share this with you because this is Jim's final commencement as a faculty member here at Stevens College. He is retiring this month, and I do want to ask you to join me in thanking him for all he has contributed and accomplished and what he has meant and continues to mean to all of us. Please join me in applauding Mr. Jim. Thank you. Now please join me in welcoming Dr. Leslie Willey, our Vice President for Academic Affairs, to the podium.
It is fitting that we honor our distinguished faculty today. The Stevens College faculty has an immense impact on the lives of students, as professors, as mentors, and as advisors. Each of our faculty has made significant contributions to the college, to their profession, and to the thousands of students they have taught over the years. Would the faculty please stand and be recognized? One faculty member who demonstrates excellence in the areas of teaching, advising, and mentorship was selected to receive the 2023 Distinguished Teaching Award. I would like to recognize Dr. Mary Amanda Haskins, Associate Professor of Health Sciences. Please join me in congratulating Mary Amanda. also my pleasure to introduce two faculty members who demonstrate excellence in advising and service to Stevens College and the broader community. Dr. Monica McMurray, Professor of Fashion, is the recipient of the 2023 Michael Bowling Distinguished Advising Award, and Carolyn Roof, instructor in the Master of Education and Counseling program, is the recipient of the 2023 Graduate Program Service Award. Please join me in congratulating them. Please stand. I would also like to recognize the contributions of our academic leadership team. Dr. Michael Barger, Dean of School of Health Sciences, Dr. Kate Bernaking-Kogut, Dean of the School of Integrative Studies, and Jennifer Hemphill, Dean of the Conservatory for the Performing Arts. These academic leaders provide vision, direction, and support to the faculty and students at Stevens College. Would you please join me in recognizing them? And finally, I'd like to recognize two very important members of our Stevens family who are retiring at the end of January. Linda Sharp, our registrar, began working at Stevens in 1997, and Kathy Corley, our associate registrar, has been with Stevens for 14 years. We're grateful for their commitment, support, and service to our students, faculty, and staff, and we wish them all the best in their next adventures. Linda and Kathy, please stand. It is now my pleasure to introduce our commencement speaker tonight, Dr. Mary Amanda Haskins, recipient of the 2023 Distinguished Teaching Award. Dr. Haskins has taught at Stevens College for 7 years and is a former chair of the Life Sciences Department. Her teaching and research contributions include areas such as osteoporosis, health behavior, weight management, health disparities, public health, nutrition, and the history of women in STEM. Dr. Haskins received her Bachelor of Science in Paralegal Studies and MS of Health Education from Mississippi University for Women, the first state-supported college for women in America. She earned her PhD from the University of Mississippi in Health and Kinesiology, with a concentration in health behavior and promotion with an area of support and nutrition. Some of the courses taught at Stevens include women's health, health psychology, nutrition, health behavior, and health program planning and evaluation. She also oversees all internships and a professional development course for life sciences majors. Outside of Stevens, she and her husband are the proud parents of twin boys. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Mary Amanda Haskins to the podium.
Thank you, Dr. Willie. Dear graduates, esteemed faculty, family, and friends, congratulations. You deserve to feel a tremendous sense of pride in your accomplishments. I hope you each take the time to really sit in the moment of joy and gratification you deserve and really delight in the feeling of fulfillment. Some of you may have had me for nutrition, and if you have, you know that I believe celebratory eating is part of a healthy relationship with food. So for that reason, I hope to dine vicariously with you later. Order dessert tonight, please. All of the special extras are part of celebrating, and you enjoy them. Along with food, storytelling is a vital component of our identity. Storytelling is also an effective classroom teaching method, and research has shown that it fosters empathy. The last one, empathy, is something that I wish to highlight this evening. When we include narratives in the classroom, we can enhance a sense of community building and belonging that enables relationships. You have certainly learned not just from textbooks, but from the intricate tapestry of human stories that have surrounded you along your journey, probably in ways more impactful and meaningful than an academic publisher could outline for you on a test prep tool. Compared to traditional lecture instruction, storytelling is shown by research to enhance learning retention among students. Narratives as teaching tools are argued to lead and be transformative in learning. For sources and citations on this, see me after the ceremony, because if you've also had me, you know that I would require that of you. So I will gladly share the research sources for what I am claiming tonight. Using elements of narrative in higher ed also helps your academic development, your self-confidence, and again, your empathy. So I want to tell you a story that highlights empathy. The town of Chilmark on Martha's Vineyard Island was fluent in apathy, kindness, and caring. The residents there were also fluent in a now extinct language called Martha's Vineyard Sign Language. This is because from 1694 to 1952, as many as 25% of the residents there lived with hereditary deafness. On this island, both deaf and hearing members of the community freely use this unique sign language as a primary tool of communication. People moving to town from other areas had to learn this sign language to fit in and be part of the community. Those of all hearing abilities learned this language, and it fostered inclusion and acceptance. Towns on the island, like Chilmark, never considered deafness as being something negative. For more than 2 centuries, this sign language dialect was learned and it was used by all citizens. The deaf residents of Chilmark were respected community members who were full members in the island's political, economic, social, and spiritual life. Hearing residents converse with deaf neighbors in public gatherings such as town meetings and church services for their deaf friends and family members. All residents were proficient in the language of inclusion. Children were also known to sign behind their teacher's back whenever they were off the island too, and I think that's pretty funny as well. This is because communication is not about words alone. It is about understanding, connecting, and embracing each other's perspectives. The power of empathy and inclusion are transformative. But you don't have to be an ethnographer or a linguist who knows this very specific and unique, now extinct language to be proficient in empathy. You can carry the spirit of inclusion and empathy from beyond the shores of this island. You can prioritize understanding over assumptions. You can prioritize compassion over indifferences, kindness over convenience. If you listen not just with your ears, but with your hearts, you can build your own community where kindness is the currency. Caring for others is a priority, and empathy is the language that unites us all. You are stepping into a world that is hungry for empathy, craving understanding, and yearning for human connections. So I challenge you to be catalysts for change. Kindness costs nothing, but is often priceless. John Wesley said, "Do all the good you can, by all the means you can, and all the ways you can, and all the places you can, all the times you can, to all the people you can, as long as you ever can." You will have moments ahead of you where you can make a positive impact on others in ways you perceive as small that could have a tremendous influence on others' lives. Remember that you play a role in creating a kind, inclusive, and empathetic world. Go forth and share your talents, skills, and knowledge that betters our world. Share your story. Hear others. You can make profound differences. I believe in you, and I know you are capable. Congratulations, graduates.
Thank you, Mary Amanda. Our class speaker, representing our December undergraduates, Zoe London Colvin, is graduating with a BFA in creative writing from Stevens. Zoe is originally from Kansas City. She has served as the president of Alpha Epsilon Eta chapter of Sigma Tau Delta, president of Poets of Infinity, and former editor-in-chief of Harbinger Literary Magazine. She's also served as a staff writer and photographer for Stevens Life magazine. At the 2023 Sigma Tau Delta International Convention, Zoe presented her fiction piece, Unbeing Dead, and received the Stemler-Dennis LGBT Award. Her work has been published in numerous issues of Harbinger, and she is a two-time recipient of the annual Pittman Prize through the English department. Additionally, her creative work has been published in Quirk and They Call Us. Following graduation, Zoe is moving to Cincinnati, Ohio, where she plans to pursue opportunities in both creative writing and higher education. Before I invite Zoe to the stage, I would ask that her family please stand and be recognized. Zoe, it's my honor to welcome you to the platform.
Thank you, Dr. Willie. My name is Zoe London Colvin, and it is my pleasure to welcome students, families, staff, and faculty to the Fall 2023 Commencement Ceremony at Stevens College. Every one of you has made an impact on the graduates who sit here today. In a time of our lives that has been marked by change, unpredictability, and transience, the people we surround ourselves with keep us steady. I am honored to address you all today. Transience is defined as the state or fact of lasting only for a short time, or something that has a transitory nature. While the word has several definitions, this one resonates the most to me for its emphasis on what is fleeting. Anyone who has pursued a bachelor's or master's degree knows that college itself is a time of transience. High school graduates about to embark on their freshman year are promised that this is the beginning of their adult lives, only to find that college is in fact its own holding period before we embark on the real world. Most degrees take between 2 to 4 years to complete. This is long enough to establish a new normal, a drastic change from our lives outside of college, but short enough that we are constantly aware of its impermanence. In pursuit of education and opportunity, we agree to live by an academic calendar, navigating visits home and doing homework over holiday breaks. At the same time, our degree plan is a finish line of which we are always aware. A reminder that any routine we establish will be altered once we walk across this stage. The lives that we create at Stevens are ultimately transient themselves. This does not mean the time we spend here loses its meaning once we graduate. In fact, we are often shaped most in times of transience. I myself came to Stevens in a time of transition. This was true on a global scale. In fall 2021, schools across the country were navigating the transition away from online learning and towards a post-pandemic model. On a personal note, I was not a wide-eyed high school graduate, but a jaded transfer student, thoroughly disillusioned by a rough experience at another university. Not only had I taken a year off before applying to Stevens, but I also had changed my major and rerouted my career goals. I initially kept my expectations low. It wasn't that I expected Stevens to disappoint me, but I was convinced that the perfect college experience would never be within my reach. Like many transfer and non-traditional students, my goal at Stevens was to get my degree as quickly as possible. I never could have anticipated that within my first week of classes, I'd find a community where I felt supported, challenged, and accepted. I have seen so many of my peers have similarly transformative experiences. While I initially expected my time at Stevens to be nothing more than a necessary transitional step, I have found more meaning in this period than any other in my life. I'm not sure the perfect college experience truly exists, but I believe I've had the closest thing to it at Stevens. As a creative writing major, I had the wonderful opportunity to serve as editor-in-chief of Harbinger Literary Magazine. An issue I will never forget working on is The Weight of the World, a collection of poetry, fiction, and creative nonfiction. The issue chronicled stories of personal hardship, perseverance, and of course, muddling through transitional periods. But it wasn't all stories of struggle and strife. At the end of every weighty story emerged someone more ready to face the world, more sure of themselves. My coming to Stevens at age 22 rather than 18 presented its own unique growing pains during what can already be a trying period of early adulthood. It wasn't always easy to balance the adult life I lived outside of school, with jobs and bills and a long-distance relationship, and my life as a full-time student. Though our stories may differ, all Stevens students will have semesters where they flourish and seasons where they grow weary. However, we always know in the back of our minds that this hardship is temporary. Somehow, the semester will always end. You'll take that exam you've been dreading, and you'll send off the school magazine to print. In one of my favorite stories, Fruits Basket by Natsuki Takaya, a character asks the protagonist, "What do you think comes of snow when it melts?" She responds, "Spring comes." In these cases, transience ends up being a form of hope, a reassurance that any barren season will eventually bloom. During my final semester here at Stevens, I got the chance to work on the Phoenix issue of Stevens Life, which also explored how we overcome obstacles and come out stronger, reborn like a phoenix rising from the ashes. This experience led me to realize that if I could sum up my time at Stevens in one word, it would be rebirth. To me, Stevens has meant second chances, healing and blooming from broken beginnings. This idea of rebirth also relates to the concept of transience, as we are all in a sense reborn as we become Stevens alumni rather than students. While graduation has a sense of finality to it, we are in fact embarking on yet another period of transience, although it's not as neatly defined as our years in college. The milestones that make up our lives are stepping stones, a connective tissue between each arc of our lives. Are our lives not made up of moments that always lead somewhere else? We are always in flux. We are always in transition. Thus, we are always the phoenix rising, from one place to the next. Sometimes I wish I had come to Stevens straight out of high school, but being here for 2.5 years has led to me leaning into every moment. As a transfer student, I knew that my time at Stevens would be shorter than most. I would participate in the bridge crossing ceremony a year before the people I befriended on my first day. We would not wear our caps at the same commencement ceremony. When I moved away, my friends would still share meals at Stamper, laugh in the writer's room at Dudley Hall, and pretend to work on homework at the grind without me. There's a melancholy to this realization, but in response, I reaffirm the beauty of leaving behind something worthwhile as you transition from one chapter to the next. If Stevens prepared me to do anything, it's to still make meaning within what is transitive. While nothing lasts forever, in the moments that it does exist, more meaning can always be found. Though I will graduate with my degree in creative writing, I am a reader at heart. Thus, I leave you with a quote from another one of my favorite stories, Chihaya Furu by Yuki Suetsugu. "Youth comes again and again." I offer this reminder in contrast to the assumption that graduation from Stevens signals a transition to adulthood, to real life. While that isn't entirely false, I ask you to continue to hold space for youth in your life, whatever that means to you. Our world emphasizes lost youth, missed connections, and the harm of being too late. But I argue that youth, in its ephemerality, becomes timeless. We are never past the point of getting back up, dusting ourselves off, and trying again. I did not know what I could still make of my education when I transferred to Stevens, and in this college I found my second chance, my rebirth. As we graduate from Stevens, I ask you to believe in these second chances, this recurrence of youth, and this rebirth. Stevens, from this moment to the next, I will always be honored to have walked through your halls. I will cherish the meaning we made in every transient moment. From the bottom of my heart, thank you, and congrats to the graduating class of Fall 2023.
Thank you, Zoe. Our class speaker, representing the December 2023 graduates, Marie Helene Kersner, is graduating with a Master of Physician Assistant Studies degree. Kersner received a BS degree in Clinical Exercise Science from Appalachian State University and a Master's of Physiology from North Carolina State University. In her free time, she can be found walking her dog Kuna, curled up with a good book, on her Peloton, or attending her husband's football games and watching his career flourish alongside her own. After graduation, Marie Helene and her husband hope to continue living in Ann Arbor, Michigan, where she plans to pursue a career in acute medicine via urgent care. Before I invite Marie Helene to the stage, I would ask that her family please stand and be recognized. Marie Helene, it is my honor to welcome you to the stage.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Marie Helene Kersner, one of your newest PACs. And it is my great honor to be speaking in front of all of you today as a student speaker at the Stevens College Commencement of 2023. This is truly a lifelong bucket list item that I can finally check off. I'd like to recognize President Diane Lynch, Dr. Leslie Wiley, Vice President for Academic Affairs, and Dr. Mary Amanda Haskins, Associate Professor, Health Sciences, and recipient of the 2023 Distinguished Teaching Award, serving as the commencement speaker. I'd also like to personally thank the professors and directors that made up our PA family, who molded us to become the PAs that we are today. They continue to encourage and support us, despite us probably testing their patience more than once over the last 2.5 years, especially with our random ping pong tournaments, a baseball playing incident on the second floor, our ruthless need to always be right, and lastly, my personal favorite, when our fellow classmate Husref managed to turn off the Wi-Fi for the entire campus when he plugged in a mysterious telephone wire that looked like it had accidentally fallen out of its socket, and somehow this wire short-circuited the entire Wi-Fi network on campus, sending us home on Zoom for the rest of the day. Well, if you ask me, the universe was tempting fate, giving exhausted PA students all of that power. My fellow graduates, I would love for you to look around and see all the people who have shown up for us today on this special day. A special thank you to our family and friends, and especially those cheering us on from home via Zoom. Hug them extra tight tonight, for they are the ones who continued to uplift us when we were too tired and desperately wanted to give up. Also, a special shout out to my loving husband, Grant, who couldn't be with us today, as he's preparing his team for their 3rd consecutive bowl game appearance next week. He never let me give up, even after I stained a throw pillow on our couch with mascara due to exhausted tears from the end of a long day. He always reminded me, let's go eat a snack, drink some water, and get some sunshine. Nothing will change if you take a few minutes to yourself. At this time, there's a special story that I would like to share with all of you about the 2 biggest role models I could ever ask for, even if it took me moving halfway across the country to realize it. I hope that their story and mentality continue to inspire you as you progress through your careers. For as long as I can remember, my parents have set an example of what it means to be successful in academics and in life. My mom, Carol, is not only the first female in her family to graduate from high school, but a first-generation college student, which, if you ask me, is a pretty big freaking deal. When my grandfather asked her why she wanted to go to college instead of staying in her small town like the rest of her family, she thought, why not? Why not reach beyond my own knowledge at this point in time and keep learning about myself and the world around me? She once told me, if you do not try, you'll never know what could have been. And this is something that has run through my head my entire life growing up and still now. And she probably doesn't even know it. And then there's my dad, Eric, who decided for whatever reason that life would not be complete with just a PhD in biochemistry, but a postdoc as well. And while my mom taught me the importance of asking why not, my dad drilled into me the significance of just simply asking why. And knowing that the worst possible answer I could ever get was no. To which we respond by continuing to push and try again and again, because it only takes one yes to make a world of a difference. These combined mentalities are what has landed every single one of us in this room, in these seats, on this day. There was one morning where we woke up and said, why not go to PA school? Why not strive to improve the medical community around us? Why not attempt to make a difference in patients' lives who have been neglected for so long? And my fellow graduates who thought, why not get a master's in education counseling? How can I have a positive impact on future students in a society that fails those that need the support most? What do I have to lose to try and help these students grow to be a better version for their family and friends, and better yet, for themselves? And then the undergraduates in this room. You decided to come here to further your career and establish the foundation for your next steps in life. Whether this is your last degree or your first of many, you chose to be here and show up every day, consistently asking your professors why when you felt like you could be pushed a little bit harder, and knowing the power of why not as the key to leaving your mark on this campus and beyond. Now, I want to leave you with a final thought. In August of 2021, the night before my first day of PA school, I wrote a letter to my future self to read upon completion of PA school. Rereading this letter for the first time in 2.5 years, I clearly had no idea the quantity of caffeine, lack of sleep, tears, and blood that I would encounter. And let me tell you, it was a lot. It was the last paragraph of this letter that stuck to me the most. Quote, "For now, I'm writing this to remind myself to trust the process and lean on those I love. I am smarter than I give myself credit for because no one else got me to this point except myself." As each of us walk across the stage today, I want everyone to think about that statement because it is true. While we could not have made it through without our support systems, we are the ones that showed up and sacrificed every day. Hold your heads a little bit higher, knowing that you fought to earn this degree and came out the other side, maybe with a little bit of a caffeine addiction, but a whole lot wiser. And never forget the power of asking, why not? And that being told the word no is not the end of the world, but probably the beginning of an incredible journey. And in the words of Dr. Megan Blakemore, Director of Physician Assistant Studies at Stevens College, that's right. Thank you for your time, and cheers to us 2023 graduates.
Thank you, Marie-Helene. Now, for the reason we're all here. As Vice President for Academic Affairs, it is my pleasure to present these candidates for degrees. Will the candidate for the Bachelor of Arts degree please stand and be recognized? We have one. There you go. Yes. Will the candidates for the Bachelor of Fine Arts degree please stand and be recognized? Will the candidates for the Bachelor of Science degree please stand and be recognized? Will the candidates for the Master of Education degree please stand and be recognized? And will the candidates for the Master of Physician Assistant Studies please stand and be recognized? Assistant Professor John Hemphill will announce each candidate who crosses the stage to receive a diploma. Students graduating with honors are wearing a medallion symbolizing their achievement. Before we begin the presentation of diplomas, I ask that all candidates for degrees stand as President Lynch confers your individual degrees. President Lynch, on behalf of the faculty, I present these candidates for conferring of degrees.
So, here you are. This is a ritual. This is all a ritual, and rituals mark in our lives changes in who we are, where we've been, and where we're going. It's important that we recognize them as they're occurring because they also shape our memories. So I always ask, as we go through this ritual, that the graduates just stop for one brief moment and really think about how you got here. Think about all those tears and all those friendships and all those successes and all that blood, what you expected and what actually happened, and what a difference you're all going to make in the world. So this is probably one of the last times I'm ever going to get to do this, which is to impose on you just a moment and a pause. So while all of these amazing people who love you and have supported you just wait one quick minute, I'm going to ask that you take that minute and think about how you got here, why, and what it means to you. Okay, one quick minute. By the authority of the state of Missouri, given to me by the trustees of Stevens College, and entrusted to me by them, I hereby award to you the degrees that you have earned upon recommendation of your faculty during the course of your studies at Stevens College, with all of the rights, privileges, and responsibilities thereunto appertaining, in token whereof we shall present you with your diplomas. Graduates, you may now move your tassels from right to left. And please join me in congratulating the class of 2023. Oh, come on, you can do better than that. Yes. Congratulations, and you can be seated. You will call, are we gonna, okay. You'll be asked to come to the stage, one row at a time.
Kennedy Aaron Brown, Bachelor of Fine Arts in Digital Filmmaking. Zoe London Calvin, Bachelor of Fine Arts in Creative Writing. Cordelia Elizabeth Dahlem, Bachelor of Science in Biology. Don't have your card? Celine Shania Infoidu. No? Yeah. Inenfoledu. And what did we get?
Bachelor of Arts.
Bachelor of Arts. Oh, in apparel studies. Wonderful. Hi. Kaylee Elizabeth Gilchrist, Bachelor of Fine Arts in Theatrical Costume Design. Quinn Olivia McCardle, Bachelor of Fine Arts in Theatrical Costume Design. Annie Molgard, Bachelor of Fine Arts in Technical Theater and Stage Management. Jordan Ellen Schmeling, yeah? Schmeling, oh, wonderful. Bachelor of Science in Fashion, Marketing, and Management. Congratulations. Thank you. Olivia Grace Wheeler, Bachelor of Science in Health Science. Jordan Elizabeth Widmer, Bachelor of Science in Health Information Administration. Amy Ray George, Master of Education and Counseling. Rachel Tanner Jones, Master of Education in Counseling. Jacob Angelo Mata, Master of Education in Counseling. Holly Ann Paring, Master of Education in Counseling. Shelby Anna Marie Wessing, Master of Education in Counseling. Heather Dawn Willett, Master of Education in Counseling. Charlotte Alexandra Burns, Master of Physician Assistant Studies. Sarah Beth Burns, Master of Physician Assistant Studies. Riley Benet Bush, Master of Physician Assistant Studies. Bridget Corcoran, Master of Physician Assistant Studies. Lauren Nadler Crawford, Master of Physician Assistant Studies. Jayita Devi, Master of Physician Assistant Studies. Kelly Marie DeRosen, Master of Physician Assistant Studies. Catherine Emma Dorhoff, Master of Physician Assistant Studies. Courtney Elizabeth Felton, Master of Physician Assistant Studies. Hayden Lane Gunther, Master of Physician Assistant Studies. Tyler Daniel Harrelson, Master of Physician Assistant Studies. Carissa Taylor Harris, Master of Physician Assistant Studies. Allison Ellie Johnson, Master of Physician Assistant Studies. Karishma Kandel, Master of Physician Assistant Studies. Catherine M. Kiefer, Master of Physician Assistant Studies. Christopher Daniel Klipfel, Master of Physician Assistant Studies. Marie Helene Boudreau Kersner, Master of Physician Assistant Studies. Madeline Evelyn Lorai, Master of Physician Assistant Studies. Brittany Erin McIntyre, Master of Physician Assistant Studies. Cami Marie Martin, Master of Physician Assistant Studies. Caroline Victoria Minnie, Master of Physician Assistant Studies. Brett William Metzger, Master of Physician Assistant Studies. Wayne Patrick Morris, Master of Physician Assistant Studies. Stephen Michael Newberry, Master of Physician Assistant Studies. Tuan Tan Fung, Master of Physician Assistant Studies. Paige Renfro, Master of Physician Assistant Studies. Husres Rizavonich, Master of Physician Assistant Studies. Kelly Schultz, Master of Physician Assistant Studies. Michaela Nicole Shapiro, Master of Physician Assistant Studies. Clayton Volk, Master of Physician Assistant Studies.
Okay, everybody, one more time. Congratulations to the class of 2023. Yes! Okay, so it's 6:50. We're right on time. There are many amazing benefits to being the president of Stevens College. One is that I never get parking tickets on campus. Although we had a new security officer this year and he didn't recognize my car and he gave me a $48 ticket for being a trespasser. I was like, does he know something I don't know? What is that? Poor guy. Poor guy. Another is that I have found the kind of job that I urge you all to insist upon. One that challenges, inspires, and enriches me every single day. One is that is my life's work. And third, I get to be one of the people who speak to you today. I'm supposed to give you a charge. That's a tradition in higher education that has nothing to do with finances. It's really, somebody asked me that, I was like, no. I'm supposed to, more daunting, I'm supposed to send you off with some great words of wisdom that will resonate in unique ways with each and every one of you, which, as you might imagine, is a daunting assignment. There's a part of me that just wants to say, okay, let's just remember what Mary Amanda Zoe and Marie Helene said, and then I'll just go sit down. No, I'm not going to, so don't get you. Because really what I have to say is just a variation on the theme of their inspiring and memorable advice. But here I go. You have just been awarded the degrees, as you know, that you have earned. There's language in that talks about that when I speak to you and you flip your tassels. You've earned it. As you heard earlier, you're the ones who showed up. You're the ones who were there. You're the ones who made it happen. After 3 or 4 years of effort and stress and resilience and determination. And as you also heard, I told you this is a repeating of a theme, you're not the same humans that you were when you first arrived on the Stevens College campus. Then you were prepared to do whatever was required of you. But, as Marie Helene said, you had no idea what that was going to be. And it's probably a good thing that you didn't, because here you are. Since that moment, you have each traveled your own journeys, made your own memories, created your own forever friendships, and I am sure worked harder, longer, and with greater purpose than ever before in your lives. You are about to walk out of this ritual, this historic event in your lives, and into a life in which you are no longer a student. And I'm here to give you a charge, some instructions first, and I want you to consider it your final homework assignment. Maybe not ever, but for now. And a few suggestions that do constitute what I think of as a charge. So here's the assignment. The next few weeks are the holidays for all of us. And I don't know about you, but I haven't even started thinking about the holidays. I'll do that about 20 minutes from now. They are wildly busy times and often overwhelming. But for you, it is also an in-between time, in between your life as a student and whatever adventure comes next. And my assignment to you is that you use that time to give back to those you have leaned upon, who have loved you and supported you, who wiped your tears and made you tea and took you for a walk because the world isn't going to change if you take a break, who made your success possible. Many of those folks I know are in this room, whether it's your mom or your little sister, or your grandmother or your children, or the love of your life. You've been pretty distracted over the last few years, and I have a feeling they have missed you like crazy. So here's the assignment. Dedicate yourself to those you love most. Sit down on the floor and play trucks or read books with the children in your life without once looking at your phone. You're going to hear a theme in this. Go shopping with your mom, or watch football with your dad or your brother without sending a single text. Listen to him crying, go pick him up. Leave your phone on the counter. Oh. He can stay, it's okay. Ask your partner to tell you about their day, and then make eye contact with them the whole time. They're going to get real nervous and be like, that's weird. But you know, they will know that you are truly present and listening to their story and laughing at their jokes. In short, the most valuable gift we have to give is us, our undistracted, all-in presence. And this holiday, during your time in between, I urge you to give it with your whole heart to those who have walked beside you on this amazing journey. That's your assignment. Check. People in this room are going to grade you on that assignment. And here's my charge and my advice. You are at this moment a finely tuned learning machine. You are at the height of your intellectual capacity to process and retain new ideas and information. And not surprising, being intellectually in shape is no different from being physically in shape, which means you do it or you lose it. I can't talk to you about the exercise thing. We don't have time. But I do have a lot to say when it comes to being a perpetual learner. So 4, I do that. I make a lot of speeches, and I know that if you tell somebody you're going to do 4 things, then when you get to 2, they're like, oh my God, she's got 2 more. But these are really quick. So 4 quick suggestions. Like Zoe, be a reader at heart. Read wherever you are, on your laptop or your Kindle, or yes, in hard copy. Instead of getting on your phone to check your messages or scan through Instagram again, and how many puppy photos can you look at, really? Or dance TikToks. That's for you guys. Commit to reading a book a month, 1 a month, especially about topics and ideas you don't know anything about. That's 12 books a year. Think how much more interesting you would be. Number 2, find smart people and hang out with them. That's what you did in grad school, right? And that's what you did in undergrad school. You found smart people and you hung out with them. Actually, that's what faculty are. They're smart people who are willing to hang out with you. So find other smart people who also want to hang out with smart people. And if you can't do that for whatever reason and you're too busy, the faculty would be more than happy to have you get in touch. 3, teach. We learn by teaching. You're now among the most educated people on the planet. What have you learned that you can share? Maybe it's about being healthy. Maybe it's about writing a novel. Maybe it's about designing a costume. Maybe it's about resilience and ambition and grit. The Girl Scouts, the Boy Scouts, the Boys and Girls Club, the kids in your own lives all need to know what you know. So find some time to share it with them. And finally, find a life's work, one that feeds your brain, your heart, and your soul. They are out there. Look at me. I am working right now. This is work. Not bad, right? You're all having fun, you're celebrating. Me too, but I'm working. I've been the president of Stevens College for 14 years, and it's never been a job, not one day. That's it. You've achieved an accomplishment that such a small percentage of people in the world ever accomplish. My charge to you today is to consider it not the pinnacle of your educational career, but the foundation upon which you will build a life of learning. Abraham Lincoln once said, I don't think much of this, I can't do his voice. I don't think much of a man who is not wiser today than he was yesterday. And as often was the case, not always, but often, Lincoln was right. So today I charge you with giving back your time, attention, and presence to those you love most. It's your assignment. And I urge you to commit to being smarter and wiser every day for as long as you live. Because that's what it means to be a lifelong learner, and that's what it means to be a Stevens College graduate. Congratulations. So I said earlier that I was going to make you stop, and I probably wasn't going to have much chance again to make you do something, whatever, except for this next thing. The next thing is that you are now Stevens College graduates, and that means that you need to sing the Stevens College hymn. It's just part of being in the family. So on the back of your program, I hope, somewhere in the program, on the inside back of the program is the Stevens College hymn, and it's going to be led by Chloe Anderson, and please stand to sing the Stevens College hymn. And then you can stand up while I talk. I ask that the audience remain in place at your seats until the students have processed out. So thank you so much for being here. Chloe, one quick second. Thank you so much for being there. Everybody's standing up. I want you to cheer one more time for the class of 2023. Congratulations.
Stay